So EA Play 2021 finally happened, and not much of note happened there, apart from what I'm going to talk about here, except for maybe the Dead Space remake announcement. But what we were there for, the fans of Battlefield, were to see what this redacted mode was that was coming to the game. And so they showed this trailer for this thing called Battlefield Portal. And I've already watched it a couple times, but I just want to watch it again and commentate over it. So here we go. So Ripple Effect is the new name for DICE LA. This is what they've been working on. This is cool. He's got a Colt, and then it keeps transforming, and boom, Tracer Dart Gun, Spaz. I saw the XM8, M16 in there. And then this was like, what? There's a World War II plane with all these modern vehicles and a Jeep. So you see XM8, and immediately you're like, wait a minute, Bad Company? And some of those maps are looking familiar. This is very exciting. So, Caspian Border. And these are maps from Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. This is my favorite moment. Smiley face pin. This is a Battlefield 1942 map, which I didn't play. And this is where the madness starts. He's killing people with defibrillators. That looks like... what is it, Valparaiso from Bad Company 2? I think that's what it's called. Tracer Dart on a World War II plane. Just madness. Knives versus defibrillators. If only the animations were this extravagant. They aren't really. But how bizarre is this to see World War II soldiers fighting modern people? It's a Stuka, I think. Your battlefield. That is cool. Your rules. This is my favorite part. Boom. Battlefield Portal. Change the rules of war. And then, of course, you have to show the Caspian Border Tower coming down. Man, Battlefield never fails to make an amazing trailer. So this concept is ingenious. It says DICE said that this is something they've been wanting to make for over a decade. It's essentially a mashup of several of their games. They're taking maps, or they're remade maps from Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and then even Battlefield 1942, their first game. Remade them in the new engine, added things that they didn't have before, like Levolution, the inclement weather, destruction, in terms of like the Battlefield 1942 maps, which didn't run on Frostbite. And they've remade dozens and dozens of old weapons and vehicles, which, if you want to see a great video on it, go watch Jack Frags' video on this. He has a whole list of what they remade for this game. So, and the modulation and the different settings you can have are basically endless. Like if you want to have a match that feels like Bad Company 2 still, you can have the old TTK turned on from that game and like have the old movement system turned on. Or if you want to do just completely insane things like want 1 versus 127 players, like one guy has, I don't know, an LMG and everyone else has a knife or something crazy like that, you can do that. And then you can have modern, or like a Battlefield 3 soldier, or the Battlefield 3 like Russians against the Battlefield 1942 Americans or whatever, so you can have like factions from different eras fighting. That's why you see World War II planes going up against like Ospreys and stuff like that, which is so cool. And even apart from just the amazing community support this is going to have, think about what it can do for people like Neebs Gaming, people that do Battlefield Friends. You know what the type of comedy they can get from this stuff will be hilarious. Like they can write a lot of new jokes using Battlefield Portal, where they have the intrusion of like the past games coming into Battlefield 1942, and it alleviates mine and a lot of other people's fears about there only being 7 maps, because originally we were like, okay, there's no campaign, there better be a lot in this game, and they said 7 maps, but they're huge, and we're like, okay, that seems not that big, but then they announced these, and there's several more maps being remade, like Arica Harbor, Valparaiso, El Alamein, Battle of the Bulge, Caspian Border. So some of those are Noshar Canals too. Some of those are fan favorites, and like some of them are some of my favorites too. And I guess this explains now why there was rumors for a long time that DICE LA was making. The rumor was there was several rumors that for a while there was a rumor that they were doing Bad Company 3, and then there was a rumor that they were doing a Battlefield 3 remaster. Now it all makes sense, because people probably, word got out that they were working on those maps again, and this is what they were doing. They were remaking those old maps and content, but in a new engine. So, again, the game of Telephone happened, where it started as one thing, and when it got to the public, it was totally changed. But you know what's sad is this is probably going to be a better World War II Battlefield game than Battlefield 5, which is incredibly sad, because it looks like they've taken a lot of the assets from 5 and used them to remake BF 1942 stuff, some of those iconic maps that we didn't get in 5, so that kind of lessens the blow a little bit of 5 being cut short, because we didn't get any of that. Yeah, we still didn't get any of the Russian maps and stuff, but as far as I know, Battlefield 1 won't be getting any content in this, at least at launch, but the future potential for Portal is crazy. Like, if they keep adding to this, like, all the new maps that are added into 2042 will be added to Portal as well, so it'll essentially function like a second game. Kind of like, it's almost like the community test environment from BF4, if you remember that. So, but the potential for this is crazy. Like, think about 2 years from now, what it could look like. If they keep updating it, like, they could throw in so many old maps. They could remake Operation Firestorm, Operation Locker, Wake Island, some of the BF5 maps, some of the BF1 maps, maybe the vehicles and weapons from BF1. It's just like a crazy... It's I think it's being described as a Battlefield toy box, where it's like, here's all the weapons and vehicles and gadgets and assets from the franchise's history. Just go nuts and give you complete control. Like, there's even, well, like, besides the normal stuff, like having private servers and being able to change what guns, like, you can ban certain guns, even down to certain attachments that people can use in your server. But they also have a logic editor, which is kind of nuts. Like, the amount of options you have in this is insane. And more games need to do stuff like this. I think it's really cool. The closest thing to this I think we've had was Far Cry Arcade from Far Cry 5, where they had stuff from 3 and 4, and they let you edit maps. They don't go this far in here in this. You can't, like, create your own maps, but you can modify the heck out of basically everything except for the map itself. You can shrink the map area, and, like, if you want to play like 5v5 or something and have like a tiny portion of the map to play on, you can do that. But like Battlefield content creators like Jack Frags and Westy, like, they're going to go ham with this. There's going to be literally years and years worth of content for them now, because the experimentation is endless. And you know what game I hope does something similar to this? Halo Infinite. I really want, because of the name, I assume maybe that's kind of what it's going to be. I would love Halo to do something similar, where they're like, this is a ongoing Halo platform. Well, we'll just keep adding old stuff, and they'll let you play. They'll let you use like the ARs from every previous Halo game, and the Warthogs from every Halo game, and every type of weapon from all the games and all the vehicles. Just throw them all in a toy box, let you play with them in Forge, and just go nuts. I'm hoping that Halo does something similar, because this is ingenious, and I hope this is the first step. It'll probably get other developers to see this and be like, huh, we should do something similar. So, Battlefield changing the game again in terms of innovation. And, you know, from my other videos, you know, I'm a sucker for the World War II plane, so to see them return in another game is going to be cool. Like, it's not going to die with 5. We're going to still have that stuff. But, man, is it going to be weird to see modern soldiers fighting World War II soldiers. Like, I wonder if there's going to be any funny voice lines in there, like them freaking out, like, what's that? What are, like, freaking out at seeing drones and ospreys. They just teleported decades ahead, and they're going to be so confused at what's happening. But are you guys as stoked as I am for this? Because it feels like we're getting almost like 4 or 5 Battlefield games in one now, because it wasn't just like the all-out war mode, which I was already excited for. And I think, personally, I know some people don't agree, but I think this more than makes up for no campaign. I think it's better than having a campaign, because I personally have never cared for Battlefield's campaigns. But the amount of content they're remaking, like I said, Jack Fraggs has a list. Maybe I'll put some of the screenshots up here, but like the amount of content they are remaking in this engine and putting in here is essentially like 4 games in one. So it's just extremely exciting as a longtime fan of the series that they're going in this direction. So what do you guys think? Do you think it looks as cool as I do? Let me know in the comments. And if I missed anything about this, I'm sure I did. Like I said, I didn't go into all the details, but there's plenty of other YouTubers out there that are covering it. Let me know if I missed anything. And I guess for more coverage on Battlefield, because I'm going to be playing a lot of it when it comes out in October, I guess stick around on my channel. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.